Hello, my friends. Dr. Mandell here. If you're over 60, you probably noticed something. The arms aren't as strong as they used to be. Walking upstairs feels a little heavier, and maybe your balance just isn't what it once was. This is not just getting older. This is something called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength as we age. But here's the good news. You can fight it, you can reverse it, and you don't need fancy supplements or expensive powders. In fact, I'm going to share 3 delicious cheeses that are packed with the right nutrients to rebuild muscle naturally. Why cheese? Cheese isn't just tasty, it's a nutritional powerhouse for aging muscles. It's rich in high-quality protein, calcium, vitamin B12, and other nutrients your body needs for muscle repair, bone health, and nerve function. And best of all, it's easy to digest and easy to add to your meals. So let's get right into the 3 best cheeses for muscle health after 60. My friends, one of the most important things I can share with you today is something that so many people over the age of 60 don't even realize is happening inside their own bodies. It's a silent process. You don't feel it overnight. It doesn't make an announcement. But slowly, year after year, it takes away one of your greatest assets, your muscle. This condition is called sarcopenia, and if you're not aware of it, it can creep in and change your life in ways you never imagined. When you were younger, your muscles were strong without you even thinking about it. You could climb stairs 2 at a time, carry groceries without effort, play with your children or grandchildren without feeling winded. But as we get older, our bodies start to change. We naturally begin to lose muscle mass, and it's not just because we're sitting more or being less active. Even people who stay fairly active notice changes. That's because sarcopenia is also influenced by hormonal shifts, changes in the way our bodies process protein, and the simple fact that our muscle fibers aren't being repaired as quickly as they once were. Think about it like this. When you're young, your muscles are like a fresh, strong rope. Every fiber is tight, connected, and able to pull its weight. But as we age, some of those fibers start to fray. They're not replaced as quickly. And if you're not giving your body the right tools to repair them, that rope gets weaker and weaker. That's exactly what happens with your muscles. Now here's where it gets serious. Sarcopenia isn't just about looking a little smaller or losing tone. It affects your strength, your balance, and your independence. Weak muscles mean simple things like getting out of a chair, walking across the room, or carrying a bag of groceries suddenly feel harder. And when your muscles weaken, your bones are at greater risk too. Falls become more likely. Recovery from an injury takes longer. Before you know it, something that should have been a small setback can turn into months of difficulty. Here's the truth. You cannot afford to ignore your muscle health after 60. Because muscle is not just about movement. Muscle is an organ of longevity. It's your body's protein reserve. It's a key player in your metabolism, your blood sugar control, and even your immune function. When your muscle mass drops, it affects your entire health system, from the way you burn calories, to how well you heal, to how much energy you feel each day. But let me give you some hope. Sarcopenia is not a life sentence. It's not something that you just have to accept as part of getting older. Yes, muscle loss is a natural part of aging, but it can be slowed down dramatically and even reversed if you take action now. And the sooner you start, the better your results will be. I've seen people in their 70s, even 80s, rebuild muscle they thought they had lost forever. They started walking stronger, their posture improved, their energy came back. Why? Because they gave their bodies what they needed, the right nutrition, the right exercise, and the right mindset. Now I want you to picture something. Imagine you're holding a glass of water. When you're young, your hand is steady, your grip is strong, your forearm muscles are firm. That's because your nervous system and your muscle fibers are working together perfectly. Now imagine that same hand after years of not giving your muscles the attention they need. The grip is weaker, the hand shakes a little, and even holding that glass for more than a minute starts to feel like work. That's sarcopenia in action. It doesn't just affect your legs or your core, it affects everything you do, from the smallest task to the biggest challenge. So what can we do about it? The first step is awareness, understanding that if you are over 60, you are at risk. And if you're already feeling weaker, having trouble getting up from low chairs, or noticing you've lost muscle in your arms or legs, then it's likely already happening. But here's the beautiful thing. Our muscles are incredibly responsive no matter our age. With the right fuel and stimulus, your body can start building new muscle tissue within weeks. That's right, weeks. But here's the key. Muscle doesn't grow out of thin air. It needs two main things: protein and resistance. Without high quality protein in your diet, your body won't have the amino acids it needs to repair and grow muscle. Without resistance, meaning exercises that challenge your muscles like lifting weights, resistance bands, or even your own body weight, your body won't get the signal to actually build that muscle. Nutrition is the building block and movement is the trigger. And this is where so many people go wrong. They think they can just walk every day and that will keep all their muscle. Walking is fantastic for your heart, your circulation, and your joints, but it's not enough to stop sarcopenia. You have to challenge those muscles. That's why I always recommend doing some form of strength training 2 to 3 times a week, even if it's just with light dumbbells or resistance band or a few simple exercises like squats and wall push-ups. The other thing you must remember is that as we age, our bodies become less efficient at using the protein we eat. This means you might actually need more protein in your 60s than you did in your 30s just to maintain your muscle. This is why I'm always sharing simple, easy, and delicious ways to get more high-quality protein into your day, and why I'll be talking about those 3 special cheeses in just a bit. I also want you to understand the emotional side of this. Losing muscle doesn't just make you weaker physically, it can affect your confidence, your mood, and even your social life. When you don't feel steady on your feet, you may avoid certain activities. When you feel too tired or too weak, you may stop doing the things you love. And that's not living, that's just existing. I want you to live fully, to move freely, and to feel strong in your body no matter your age. So my friends, here's my message to you. You have more control over your muscle health than you think. Sarcopenia may be a natural part of aging, but it does not have to define your future. Every single day you have the choice to fuel your muscles, to move them, and to protect them. And when you do, you're not just keeping your strength, you're protecting your independence, your vitality, and your quality of life. Don't wait until you're struggling to get out of a chair or feeling unsteady on your feet to take action. Start today, because every bite of protein, every step you take, every rep you do, it all adds up. Your muscles are listening to what you do. And when you give them the right message, they will respond. Your body is more capable than you realize. Even after 60, you can rebuild strength, regain stability, and feel younger in the way you move and live. And in a few moments, we'll talk about 3 delicious cheeses that can help you do just that. Because nutrition is one of the simplest and most enjoyable ways to give your muscles exactly what they need to fight sarcopenia and keep you strong for years to come. Stay with me, because this next part might just change the way you look at your dinner plate forever. My friends, when most people think about cheese, they think about flavor, comfort, maybe a good snack with crackers or a topping on pasta. But what I want you to understand today is that certain cheeses are much more than just something to make your food taste good. They are powerful tools for your health, especially when it comes to protecting and rebuilding your muscle after 60. You see, cheese is one of nature's most concentrated sources of high-quality protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. It's not just about getting calories into your body, it's about getting the right kind of calories that your muscles can actually use to stay strong and functional. And if you're over 60, your muscles are not just something nice to have. They are the foundation of your independence, your energy, and your ability to live life on your own terms. Protein is the most important nutrient for your muscles, and the kind of protein you eat matters. Cheese contains complete proteins, meaning they have all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle tissue. One of the most powerful amino acids in cheese is called leucine, which plays a special role in triggering muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to repair and grow muscle. Without enough leucine and other essential amino acids, your body can't effectively rebuild what you lose each day, and if you're not rebuilding, you're losing. Now let's go deeper. Cheese is also an excellent source of calcium. You might think of calcium only in terms of bone health, but here's something you may not know. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction. Every single time you move a muscle, whether you're lifting a grocery bag, climbing a step, or even taking a breath, calcium is the mineral that allows your muscle fibers to contract and release. Without enough calcium, your muscles simply can't perform at their best. And in older adults, low calcium levels are surprisingly common. That's one reason why adding cheese in moderation can be such a smart move for overall muscle function. Another hidden gem in cheese is vitamin B12. This vitamin is like a spark plug for your nervous system. It helps keep the communication between your brain and your muscles clear and sharp. If your body is low in B12, you may experience fatigue, weakness, and slower reflexes, all of which can make you feel older and more fragile than you really are. And guess what? B12 deficiency becomes more common as we age because our stomachs don't absorb it as well from food. Cheese, especially certain types, is a natural concentrated source of this vital nutrient. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, Dr. Mandell, I've heard cheese is high in fat, maybe even unhealthy. And here's my answer. It's all about quality and portion control. Yes, cheese contains fat, but much of it is healthy, natural fat that your body needs for hormone production, cell health, and brain function. The problem isn't cheese itself, it's eating too much of it or choosing highly processed varieties loaded with additives. When you choose natural, minimally processed cheeses, you get the benefits without the drawbacks. What's also amazing is that cheese is one of the most satisfying foods you can eat. That means it can help you control your appetite and avoid constant snacking on less healthy foods. Why? Because the combination of protein and fat in cheese digests slowly, keeping you full for longer and providing a steady stream of energy. This is especially important for older adults who may not eat large meals. Every bite needs to count towards your health goals. Let's talk about how cheese fits into your daily life. For someone over 60, one of the biggest challenges is getting enough protein throughout the day. Most people tend to eat the majority of their protein at dinner, but your body can only use so much at one time for muscle building. Spreading your protein intake evenly over breakfast, lunch, and dinner is far more effective for maintaining muscle mass. Cheese is the perfect food to help you do this. You can add a little to your eggs in the morning, have some with fruit as a midday snack, sprinkle it on a salad at lunch, or enjoy it in a healthy dinner recipe. Here's something else you might not realize. Cheese is easy to chew, swallow, and digest for most people. As we age, some foods that were once staples in our diet become harder to handle due to changes in teeth, gums, or digestion. Cheese is soft enough for people with dental issues, yet nutrient dense enough to deliver a lot of value in a small portion. This makes it ideal for seniors who need concentrated nutrition without having to eat huge amounts of food. But we also have to be smart. Not all cheeses are created equal. The kinds I recommend for muscle health are rich in protein and nutrients, lower in unnecessary additives, and easy to incorporate into everyday meals. In a moment, I'll share 3 specific cheeses that check all those boxes and can truly help you in your fight against sarcopenia. But first, I want to make something crystal clear. Cheese alone won't save your muscles. It's part of a bigger plan that includes movement, hydration, and overall balanced nutrition. Think of cheese as one tool in your toolbox, not the entire toolbox itself. Why am I so passionate about this? Because I've seen the difference it can make. I've seen older adults who are losing muscle rapidly turn things around by making small, consistent changes to their diet, and cheese was one of those changes. They went from struggling to get out of a chair to walking confidently again. They went from feeling exhausted after a short grocery trip to having the stamina to enjoy a full day with family. These aren't miracles, they're the result of giving the body the fuel it needs to rebuild itself. Here's a simple truth. Your body doesn't care if you're 30 or 70. When you give it the right nutrients, it will respond. Your muscles will respond. Your strength will return. Your balance will improve. You'll stand taller, walk faster, and feel more secure in every step you take. That's the power of nutrition. That's the power of choosing foods that work with your body, not against it. So my friends, the next time you look at a piece of cheese, don't just see a snack, see it as a nutritional ally in your fight to stay strong and independent. See it as a source of the protein that will repair your muscles, the calcium that will keep them contracting, the B12 that will keep them firing. See it as one of the easiest, most enjoyable ways to protect your body from the effects of aging. And remember, moderation is key. You don't need to pile it on. Just a few ounces a day of the right kinds of cheese can make a real difference over time. Combine that with regular strength exercises and good hydration, and you'll be well on your way to keeping your muscles and your life strong, vibrant, and full of possibility. In just a moment, we'll talk about those 3 specific cheeses I recommend most for people over 60 who want to fight sarcopenia and rebuild muscle. Each of them has unique benefits, and each of them can be easily added to your daily routine starting today. And once you understand why they're so powerful, you'll never look at cheese the same way again. My friends, now that you understand why cheese can be such a powerful ally for your muscles, I want to take you right into the heart of this conversation. The 3 cheeses I believe are among the best choices for people over 60 who want to rebuild muscle and fight sarcopenia. Each of these has unique qualities, unique nutrients, and unique ways they support your body's strength, recovery, and overall vitality. And the beautiful part, they're all delicious, affordable, and easy to find in almost any grocery store. Let's start with the first one, cottage cheese. I call this the muscle repair champion because of one thing, casein protein. Most people are familiar with whey protein, the fast digesting type you find in shakes, but casein is different. It digests slowly over several hours, providing a steady supply of amino acids to your muscles long after you've eaten it. That's exactly what you want, especially at night while you're sleeping. Your body does most of its repair and regeneration while you rest, so if you give it a slow release protein like cottage cheese before bed, you're literally feeding your muscles all night long. Think of it like a construction site. If you drop off all the building materials at once and then leave, the workers will run out halfway through the project. But if you deliver a steady supply of materials throughout the day and night, the work never stops. That's what cottage cheese does for your muscle fibers. It keeps the building materials coming. Cottage cheese is also naturally low in fat depending on the variety you choose, and it's a great source of calcium and phosphorus for bone strength. And here's a bonus, it pairs perfectly with both sweet and savory foods. You can have it with berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon, mix it with vegetables and herbs for a savory dip, or even blend it into smoothies for extra creaminess and protein. It's simple, versatile, and incredibly effective. The second cheese on my list is Parmesan cheese, and I'm talking about the real aged Parmesan, not the powdered stuff in a can. Real Parmesan is one of the most nutrient-dense cheeses on the planet. Ounce for ounce, it's higher in protein than most other cheeses, and it's rich in calcium, phosphorus, and a whole range of trace minerals your muscles and bones rely on. Parmesan is also naturally low in lactose because it's aged for a long time, making it easier to digest for people who are sensitive to dairy. But here's what I love most about it. It's powerful in small amounts. You don't need a big chunk of Parmesan to get its benefits. Just grating a tablespoon or 2 over your salad, pasta, or vegetables can add a significant protein and nutrient boost. That's important because it means you can enhance your diet without overloading on calories. Another fascinating thing about Parmesan is its glutamate content, a natural compound that stimulates the umami taste buds on your tongue. The umami is that deep, savory flavor that makes food satisfying. This can actually help older adults who may have a reduced sense of taste or appetite. When food tastes better, you're more likely to eat enough of it, and that means more nutrition for your muscles. Parmesan is like a flavor booster and a nutrient booster all in one. Now let's move on to the third cheese, Swiss cheese. This one is the vitamin B12 hero. As I mentioned earlier, B12 is crucial for nerve health and muscle function. Your muscles can only do what your nerves tell them to do, and if that communication is weak or interrupted because of low B12, you're going to feel weaker, slower, and more fatigued. Swiss cheese is one of the best natural sources of B12 you can get from food, and it comes packaged with high quality protein, calcium, and other important nutrients. Swiss cheese also has a distinct nutty flavor that works beautifully in so many dishes. You can add it to an omelet, Melt it over a piece of whole grain toast, layer it in a sandwich, or just enjoy it with some fresh fruit and nuts. And here's something practical. Swiss cheese slices are often pre-portioned, which makes it easy to control your intake and avoid overeating. Each of these cheeses, Cottage, Parmesan, and Swiss, plays a different but complementary role in supporting your muscles. Cottage cheese gives you slow, steady muscle repair. Parmesan delivers concentrated protein and minerals in small portions. Swiss provides nerve-supporting B12 along with great taste and texture. Together, they form a simple, effective trio that you can rotate throughout your week to keep your muscles fueled, your bones supported, and your taste buds happy. Now, I know some of you may be wondering, can I eat all three in one day? The answer is yes, but in moderation. Remember, cheese is nutrient dense, so you don't need huge servings. Think of it like medicine. The right dose works wonders, but too much can cause problems. A serving or two of each throughout the day, balanced with other protein sources, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, is a smart approach. Here's just an example of how you might use all three in a single day. Breakfast, a veggie omelet with melted Swiss cheese and a slice of whole grain toast. Midday snack, a small bowl of cottage cheese with fresh pineapple or berries. Dinner, a hearty vegetable soup topped with a sprinkle of grated Parmesan. That's it. No fuss, no complicated recipes, just simple, delicious meals that work for your body instead of against it. I also want to emphasize that while these cheeses are incredibly helpful, they work best when combined with movement. If you eat these foods but spend all day sitting without any form of strength training, you're not going to get the same results. Your muscles need both the raw materials from your diet and the stimulation from exercise to grow stronger. So make it a goal to use your muscles every day, whether it's carrying groceries, climbing stairs, doing light resistance training, or even practicing balance exercises. The last thing I'll say is this: eating for muscle health doesn't have to be boring or restrictive. Food should be enjoyable, and when you choose foods that also nourish your body, you get the best of both worlds. These three cheeses give you that balance. They're satisfying to eat, easy to prepare, and they give your body exactly what it needs to stand tall, move confidently, and keep doing the things you love for years to come. So the next time you're in the grocery store, remember this trio: cottage cheese, Parmesan, Swiss. Keep them in your fridge, use them regularly, and you'll be giving your muscles some of the best nutrition nature has to offer. And my friends, when your muscles are happy, the rest of your body will thank you every single day. My friends, knowing which foods are good for your muscles is one thing, but actually using them in your daily life, that's where the real transformation happens. If you're over 60, you don't just want information, you want a clear, simple, and realistic plan you can follow every day, because let's face it, life can get busy, routines can be hard to change, and the last thing we need is a complicated diet plan that feels like work. What I'm about to share with you is how to take these three powerhouse cheeses, cottage cheese, Parmesan, and Swiss, and weave them into your life so they become a natural, enjoyable part of your daily routine. One of the first things I always tell people is this: muscle building and maintenance is a 24-hour job. It's not just about what you eat after a workout or at dinner. It's about giving your muscles the nutrients they need consistently, meal after meal, day after day. Your body is constantly breaking down and rebuilding muscle tissue. If you feed it well in the morning but neglect it for the rest of the day, you're missing opportunities to protect your strength. So our goal here is to spread out your protein and nutrient intake evenly throughout the day. Let's start with breakfast, because what you eat first thing in the morning can set the tone for your energy, mood, and appetite all day long. Many people over 60 make the mistake of having a breakfast that's mostly carbs, maybe some toast, cereal, or fruit. And while those foods can give you quick energy, they don't do much for your muscle repair. This is where Swiss cheese can shine. Swiss is rich in protein and vitamin B12, and it melts beautifully over eggs, making it an easy addition to a morning omelet or scramble. You can also put a slice on whole grain toast with tomato for a satisfying, nutrient-packed start to your day. If you prefer something lighter, you can even roll up slices of Swiss with a piece of turkey or chicken for a quick handheld breakfast. Mid-morning or snack time is another golden opportunity. This is where cottage cheese can work wonders. Remember, it's loaded with casein protein, which digests slowly and keeps you full for hours. A small bowl of cottage cheese with fresh berries not only gives you protein, but also provides antioxidants, vitamins, and fiber from the fruit. If you're more of a savory person, you can top cottage cheese with sliced cucumber, cherry tomatoes, and a sprinkle of black pepper. The key here is simplicity. You want something you can prepare in minutes so you'll actually stick with it. Lunch is where Parmesan often makes its appearance in my own recommendations. Parmesan is easy to add to almost anything. Sprinkle it over a salad, mix it into a vegetable soup, or stir it into cooked quinoa or brown rice for extra flavor and protein. Because Parmesan is so nutrient dense, even a tablespoon or two can make a difference without adding a ton of calories. And let's not forget, it adds that savory umami flavor that makes healthy foods taste richer and more satisfying. This is especially important for older adults who might struggle with appetite or taste changes. In the afternoon, when energy tends to dip, a small snack can keep you going without spoiling your dinner. This could be another chance for Swiss cheese, maybe paired with some apple slices or a handful of raw almonds. This combination gives you protein, healthy fats, and a bit of natural sweetness from the fruit. If you're craving something savory, a whole grain cracker with a slice of Swiss or a sprinkle of Parmesan can do the trick. The point is to keep your protein intake steady while avoiding ultra-processed snack foods that spike your blood sugar and leave you feeling sluggish later. Now let's talk about dinner. This is typically the largest meal of the day for most people, but that doesn't mean you should overload your plate. The goal is balanced, lean protein, plenty of vegetables, some healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates if you choose. This is another great time to include Parmesan, either grated over roasted vegetables or mixed into a pasta made from chickpeas or lentils for an extra protein boost. If you prefer cottage cheese, you can blend it into mashed potatoes or use it as a creamy topping for baked sweet potatoes. And finally, we have evening or bedtime, a time most people don't think about in terms of muscle health, but this is when your body does the majority of its repair work. Eating a small portion of cottage cheese before bed can be one of the most powerful things you do for your muscles. The slow digesting casein protein feeds your muscles all night long, reducing the amount of muscle breakdown that naturally happens during fasting periods. I often recommend mixing a small bowl of cottage cheese with cinnamon or a drizzle of honey if you like something sweet before bed. It feels like dessert, but it's actually working for your health while you sleep. Now, I want to address a couple of concerns you might have. One is portion control. Yes, cheese is nutrient dense, but it's also calorie dense, so moderation matters. For most people, a serving of cheese is about the size of 2 dice or roughly 1 ounce. Cottage cheese servings are typically about half a cup. By sticking to these amounts and balancing them with plenty of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins, you can enjoy the benefits without overdoing it. The second concern is sodium. Some cheeses, especially Parmesan, are higher in salt, which can be an issue for people watching their blood pressure. If that's you, choose reduced sodium varieties when possible and balance your diet with fresh whole foods that are naturally low in salt. Remember, it's not about eliminating foods entirely, it's about creating balance so your overall diet supports your health goals. Integrating these cheeses into your daily routine doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler you keep it, the more likely you are to stick with it. That's why I recommend thinking ahead. Keep these cheeses in your fridge, pre-portion them if needed, and have them ready to go so you don't have to think twice. If you make them as easy to grab as less healthy snacks, you're far more likely to reach for them. The beauty of this approach is that it's not a diet in the traditional sense. You're not cutting out entire food groups, counting every calorie, or eating bland, joyless meals. You're simply making smart swaps and additions that work for your body's needs at this stage of life. And because these foods are flavorful and satisfying, you won't feel deprived. In fact, you may enjoy your meals more than ever. What happens when you start consistently integrating these cheeses into your meals? Over time, you may notice you feel stronger, have more stamina, and recover faster from activity. You may find it's easier to carry groceries, climb stairs, or get out of a chair without using your arms. And those changes, my friends, are not just about muscles or about quality of life. Stronger muscles mean greater independence, more confidence in your movement, and less risk of falls or injuries. So don't just listen to this information and then go back to your old habits. Take action today. Tomorrow morning, add Swiss to your eggs. This afternoon, have a small bowl of cottage cheese with fruit. Tonight, sprinkle Parmesan over your vegetables. These small, consistent choices add up, and before you know it, you'll be feeding your muscles the way they deserve to be fed every single day. When you make nutrition part of your routine, you stop having to think about it. It becomes automatic. And when it's automatic, it's sustainable. That's the secret to lasting strength after 60, not quick fixes, not extreme diets, but steady, intentional choices that support your body day after day, year after year. My friends, we can never look at muscle health as just a single thing we fix with one magic food. You have to see your body as a whole, as a living, breathing, interconnected system. If you want to keep your muscles strong after 60, it's not enough to simply eat 1 or 2 healthy foods and hope for the best. You must take a holistic approach, a combination of the right nutrition, proper hydration, regular strength building movements, quality sleep, and a mindset that believes you can stay strong for the rest of your life. This is where true transformation happens. You see, muscles are living tissue. They are constantly being broken down and rebuilt every single day. When we're young, the rebuilding process happens much faster than the breakdown, but after 60, the opposite starts to occur. That means if you don't give your body the tools it needs, enough high-quality protein, adequate vitamins and minerals, regular stimulation from exercise, and the right recovery, it will slowly lose that precious muscle mass. This is why so many seniors find themselves weaker, less steady, and more prone to falls. But here's the truth. This is not something you have to accept. You can take control of this process. The first part of this holistic approach is nutrition. Without the right building blocks, your muscles can't rebuild themselves. Protein is critical here, not just any protein, but complete proteins with all the essential amino acids your body needs. That's why those 3 cheeses we talked about earlier, cottage cheese, Parmesan, and Swiss, are so powerful. They provide high-quality, bioavailable protein that your body can easily digest and use. But you can't stop there. You also need healthy fats to support hormone balance, which plays a huge role in muscle maintenance. And you need complex carbohydrates to fuel your workouts and daily activity. Think of your meals as fuel for both your muscles and your energy levels. Next comes hydration. Most people underestimate just how important water is for muscle health. Muscles are made up of about 75% water. When you're even slightly dehydrated, your strength, endurance, and recovery all suffer. Dehydration can also make your joints feel stiff and your muscles more prone to cramping. So I encourage you start your day with a big glass of water. Keep sipping throughout the day and make sure you're drinking enough before and after your exercise sessions. You can also include hydrating foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and leafy greens to help maintain that fluid balance. Then there's exercise. Now I know that for some people over 60, the idea of exercise can be intimidating, but you don't have to spend hours in a gym or lift heavy weights to see results. What your muscles need is regular stimulation. This can come from light dumbbells, resistance bands, bodyweight movements like squats or wall push-ups, or even activities like gardening, swimming, or yoga. The key is to use your muscles against some form of resistance so they have a reason to grow stronger. And don't forget about your balance and flexibility. These are essential for preventing falls and maintaining independence. We can't overlook recovery and sleep. This is where your muscles actually grow. You can eat perfectly and exercise daily, but if you're not sleeping well, your muscles won't have the time or resources they need to repair and rebuild. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. This is when your body releases growth hormone, repairs tissues, and restores your energy. Create a relaxing bedtime routine, avoid heavy meals late at night, and keep your bedroom cool and dark to promote better sleep quality. Finally, there's the mindset, and this is perhaps the most powerful piece of all. Your body follows your mind. If you believe that you're too old to build muscle, you're already limiting your potential. But if you decide right now that you are going to stay strong, mobile, and independent, your brain will begin working with your body to make that happen. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s transform their strength and mobility simply because they made the decision to commit to the process. They refused to accept decline as inevitable. They took action and their bodies responded. So when we talk about keeping your muscles strong after 60, we're not talking about a single habit or a single food. We're talking about a complete integrated lifestyle. Eat high quality proteins, stay hydrated, move your body regularly, rest deeply, and keep your mind focused on what's possible. When you combine all of these, something incredible happens. You don't just maintain your muscle, you actually begin to feel more alive, more confident, and more capable. Your independence, your energy, your ability to enjoy life, it all comes back to this foundation. And the beauty is you can start at any age. You can start today. Every meal, every glass of water, every walk you take, every good night's sleep, it all counts. Your muscles are listening to the signals you send them. Send the right ones and they will reward you with strength, stability, and vitality for years to come. Stay consistent, my friends, and never stop believing in your body's ability to adapt, rebuild, and thrive, because it will if you give it the chance. And as always, I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. God bless you and keep moving forward.